Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. That is good. That is good.
Hello, welcome to Forces of Destruction. This is a 3,000 point battle report between my Orcs and Goblins and Brettonian. I'm prepping for a big brawl tournament, the Adepticon, on Friday, and the championship games, 2,400 points, are Saturday and Sunday. But the big brawl is 3 games, 1 day, no restrictions at all. So I'm taking in my list big horde of night goblins with nets. Grimgore, the special character, and his black orcs. He's pretty killy. And then I'm taking a bunch of goblins and night goblin heroes to flush it out. 45 savage orc biggins and some squig hoppers, 2 doom divers, and a rock thrower. And then some chariots and some trolls. I'll go through my list here a little closer pictures. On the left, this is after deployment, so I'll kind of go through that. I've got my trolls over here next to my general. There's 2 there, a mangler squig and a goblin chariot. Back behind there is a doom diver. It's a model I'm putting together. I don't have another doom diver, so I'm using it as a proxy right now. Sculpting it into one. My black orcs are here. Got another picture of them coming up shortly. Running the single trolls now instead of the hordes of them. It's just too hard to keep them in the leadership bubble. So just running the 3 trolls, and I'm one of the reasons why I'm playing these games. I'm getting used to how to use them. But here I got my Grimgore with the unit of black orcs, 35 of them, and then I've got like 78, 80 night goblins, and in there I've got 2 night goblin bosses. Big bosses with great weapons, and they have nets. And over to the right is my goblins. It's my kind of my bunker. I've got the goblin warlord with a wizard hat, so it gives me any lore. Level 2 wizard, he's subject to stupidity. And then I've got my night goblin BSB in there, and he just has obsidian lodestone. And then I have 2 level 2 night goblin wizards. One has a iron curse icon, and the other one one has a dispel scroll, and the one with the iron curse icon I think has the 15-point scroll where you get the 4-up or scroll of shielding. So I've got a lot of characters packed in there, and I was going to put the BSB in the night goblins, but you'll see kind of what I was thinking after I rolled up my spells. But I got another mangler squig, goblin wolf chariot. I deployed the chariots near the mangler squigs to try to protect them from skirmishers, but then I always get distracted with the chariots and don't do a very good job of that. I got 5 squig hoppers in the back there to just protect the war machines. Here's my Brettonian opponent, the big overview. 3,000 point list. He's got, from the right to left here, he's got well, I'll get to that in a minute, but basically he's got, Brettonian's Brettonian. Knights, and some supporting stuff. He's got some archers. He does have a lord on a hippogriff, which is probably only because we're playing a 3,000 point game. And he has a grail relic in there, so a few different things. So on his right, he's got my right, his left is a grail knight, or the Pegasus knights. He's got a trebuchet. There's his grail relic next to that. He's pretty fond of the grail relic. I think they're stubborn 8. I mean, they're interesting. It'd be nice when the new book comes out. See if they give them some more interesting options, unbreakable or something like that, or maybe be able to buff them up like Empire Fanatics or Heretics or whatever. Then he's got the knights. He's got a lot of characters in these knights. He's got a lord level in one, several paladins, a BSB, level 2 damsel in each unit. Then he's got the 5 mounted yeomen there prior to Vanguard. And then a big unit of 50 or so men at arms. And then he's got his ranked up 20 bowmen behind their spikes, and he's got that lord back there on the hippogriff. It's a really nice looking model. You don't see him too often. Maybe when they get a new book, you'll be able to make it, at least give it an armor save. It doesn't have anything other than toughness 5. And then on his far left, he has just another trebuchet. It's a warp lightning cannon standing in for his trebuchet, and some skirmishing archers. So, we deploy. He does his vanguards and moves the men-at-arm riders out into the middle, mounted yeoman. And he prays, so I get first turn. So that's always nice playing as Brettonian, and hopefully when they get a new book, they won't have to suffer through that anymore either. And, I guess I got one more picture of the left-hand side of the board. He's got his Knights Errant there with the Errantry banner. Now, when we rolled up our spells, I rolled Lore of Beasts with my wizard hat, and I got 2 spells. I took Wissen's Wild Form for 1 spell. And my other spell is a Savage Beast of Horos, and I was really excited about that spell because I have so many junk characters, heroes, and I've got. I'm really looking forward to trying to cast this spell on the large one. I've got also in my Goblin unit. I've got 3 Nasty Skulkers, and Nasty Skulkers count as characters when they pop out. So that'd be between the 3 of them. It'd be 9, strength 6, always strikes first, killing blow attacks. No, it'd be 18 because they have 3 attacks each plus 3 each, so 6 times 3, 18. 18 strength 6, killing blow, always strikes first attacks from Goblin Nasty Skulkers with that spell on. So I really want to try to get that off, or even just with my wizards and all my other characters. So I got that, and then plus 1 strike and toughness, So there's a Vanguard move, moves his guys out, and then Orcs take first turn. My Savage Orcs go full speed ahead on the left-hand side. I'm not caring if those Errant Knights want to charge me. I want them to, actually. Mango Squid goes out towards the middle to the right, and this first turn, I don't normally shoot Doom Divers and stuff at I like Mounted Yeoman. I like to go for them heavily armored, like Peg Knights and things like that. But I didn't want that Mangler Squig to die in the middle. And I figured if he wants to run his Peg Knights into the other one, he's more than welcome to. I'll get to that in a minute. But over here on the right, my Trolls just kind of like shuffle around a little bit to the right. One moves out into the middle. I need to have more practice at doing what to do with these Trolls. I was kind of lining them up so to try to keep those Peg Knights from heading around the side and getting over to my Doom Diver. But even as I look at the picture, I let it lined it up easily so he could actually charge some stuff, but he decided not to. Then we go to those Mounted Yeomen. I ended up killing 2, but not forcing a panic. Kind of wasted some shots on them with my Doom Divers and stuff, but. So here he's getting ready to charge his Errantry Knights into my Savage Orcs, and I'm fine with that. I get a couple buff spells up. I get poison attacks on my Night Goblins. Basically, I have really good magic phases. I throw a lot of dice. I steal some back. I get the magic mushrooms, and I'm able to pretty much cast everything I want. I just didn't have a lot to cast. I put the reduction of movement spell on his Mounted Yeoman after I couldn't, they're the only thing in range. And I could have kept them from getting the Mangler Squig that way, and I could have shot my Doom Divers and everything else, but didn't do that. And so Brettonians take their turn. The Peg Knights fly on the other side of the Mangler Squig, and I'm still driving it. So I'm like, well, they're dead meat, unless you can kill me with something like shooting a magic. And his units start moving up. His knights stay back in the middle. He wants to try to get optimal charge range, try to maybe clear out those Trolls or something in the middle. And I've got patience. I think I have him out shoot. Other than his 2 trebuchets, he doesn't really have any. He's got Lore of Beasts on all his casters. He doesn't even have the Amber Spear, so he doesn't have anything to shoot me with. And then his Errantry Knights do charge into my Savage Orcs on the far left. His general his lord on the Hippogriff tried to do a charge against the Savage Orcs as well, and I wasn't sure what he was equipped with, but That was fine with me, but he failed it, and he ended up flopping over the other side of the archers. Now here are my goblins. He targets them with the trebuchet, and the first one drifts off and kills 10, well, about 13 night goblins, because there was extras when the characters filled in there. And then his second shot lands direct hit on my goblins and turns them into hardly any. Oh, there's a picture. These are all the wound rolls from my savage orcs against his knights errant, and they came charging in. They killed one guy with all their attacks. Made a couple ward saves, and he whipped a couple. And I think the one guy he killed is a horse. I think a horse kicked the guy. Killed one, and I kill almost all of them. 3 remaining. He rolls an 11 for his flee, and I match it. I roll an 11 as well. So I run them down, and I launch myself into his hapless archers that are standing in the way of the very angry savage orcs. So there's my overrun into those archers. So that's great. Pretty happy with that. Can't complain. So then we go to the orcs and goblins next turn, and it's I don't know what this is. This just must be my goblins are blowing them, getting hit by rocks. In this game, he hit with 3 straight trebuchet shots in a row. Oh, this is my animosity. This is what this is showing. I roll a freaking animosity with my night goblins. A 1 followed by a 1, which then squabbles with my goblins back there. Horrible, because I cannot move my characters out into the safety of the night goblins. So they're all stuck standing there squabbling. That was a picture of that. And what ends up is you'll see more trebuchet rocks start pummeling me. But my savage orcs easily kill those archers. They actually kill more than the errantry knights on a charge. They killed 2, and I overrun and end up there. On the right hand side of the board, my Mangler Squig moved through his Peg Knights, and he did get Wistons up, but I didn't think that would help him. I did no wounds to the Peg Knights. I rolled Snake Eyes for the amount, and rolled a 1 on the 2 of the 2 wounds, and then he ward saved the third one, or the other one. So that was horrible. So now my Mangler Squig is out of control. It's going to just move randomly. It didn't do shnikes to his Peg Knights, and yeah, not good. My troll, here's where I make a mistake with, my troll, I should have just moved him up there and redirected those guys. I charged into them. He didn't do any damage to me, but his static combat res alone, even though I think I killed 2, he still beat me. So that sucked. So I'm leadership, 4 minus 1, 3. So that was stupid. I should have just moved him up, redirected those guys off into the woods or something, and just take that unit out of play for a while. So they kill that troll, and they don't run him down. He gets away. Those guys run into the back of where his Peg Knights are. So I mean, that was dumb, but it didn't cost me my troll. He doesn't even have any wounds on him. On Brettonian turn, Peg Knights charged that chariot, which I'm okay with. I kind of was baiting him out there with that. I wanted him away from my war machines. So he takes that and he goes after that, which opens up the relic to go ahead and charge that troll. So that, that's all right. His lord comes charging into my night goblins, and they don't have, I think, any buffs up on them at this point. Maybe armor piercing. I tried to put poison on him, I think, the turn before, and he either stopped that or I failed to cast it. Over here, he charges his archers into my flank, and I guess it's on the good part. I'm not going to kill every one of them, and if I win, I'm going to have to pursue him. So get away from the lightning cannon because I'm still frenzied. So that's not a bad tactic. Here, yeah, this is 2 more direct hits. Iron Curse Icon is the only thing that has happened to keep any of those guys alive, and him rolling some poor wounding rolls, strength 5 against toughness 4 or 3, and he's been missing. So my level 2 with the Wizzo hat has not taken any wounds. My BSB is dead at this point, and I have 1 other wizard, and I have the standard bearer for the goblins alive only. The 1 man with a banner. And over here, I overran, or I pursued those archers, and I caught them. I rolled really high again, and I was far enough to get to the men at arms. So we talked about it. I think I still should have been in horde formation, but it just he said he wanted me to just overrun since I was facing to the right. He just in bus, and I was like, "Are you sure?" And he said, "Yeah, that's fine," which made a huge difference because when I hit these peasant guys in the rear, now I'm gonna outrank them once I do my damage to them. If I would have been in horde, I'd had 5 more attacks, but he would have obviously had a lot more ranks. My Mangler Squig did me a favor and went through both those knights, but he only he killed like 1 out of the knight unit on the right and a couple on the left. So, or maybe more than a couple on the left. But so here is peasants break and they flee and they run through everything and they end up back here in my zone. His grill or his relique guys beat that troll, but don't run it down. It's got 2 wounds on it. I've got Wiston's Wild Form up on my Night Goblins now because they overran. They chased down that hero on a hippogriff. They beat him, and they beat him with combat resolution mostly. I did 2 wounds to him, and he fluffed some attacks and rolled a 1 on his stomp, and he broke, and I ran him down. Surprisingly, I'm surprised he didn't have a Crown of Command or something on that guy. I think in the future he would. This is right here where my Savages beat that, but I rolled really bad on my overrun, but or my pursuit. I was kind of hoping to get into those knights and then hold them up. So here's his charge back, and when I wanted to run down that lord, and I'm looking at this, and I'm pretty cool with it. I throw the nets on the unit on the left. Their initiative is down 1 as well because I put a curse on them. I always roll 1s with that. And so I strike faster than the troops in that one. This is post combat here. I killed a couple knights. Stupidly, I threw all my attacks at the knights. I should have threw 5 attacks over at these guys. So in conclusion of this battle, with my buff up, with the nets, when we look at the ranks here, I've got 5. And he's got 4 on his relique, and then 2 on the black knights, so that'd be 6, and then 1 on the yellow. So I think the way you do it is you total them all up. So at this point, my night goblins break, and they're going to flee away from the relique. I'm not steadfast in this situation, I don't believe. If anybody knows differently, feel free to comment, but I think you total up all the ranks. So they're going to flee to the left. And which I think, the way that works, then I guess the yellow knights, if they pursue, will hit the night goblins. But anyway, so the peg knights finally kill that chariot. It took them a couple rounds. They kill that chariot and reform, and it's going to be my turn next. So I'm not too worried about them at the moment. Stupidly got these trolls. This stupid troll did actually run off the board with a stupidity check, and the other 2 trolls, one needs to rally, the other one can do something. The one farther away there, but he's facing towards the back of the Grail Relique. So here's where we're at. Now, my opponent, we had to stop the game here at this point because he had to go. So I'm going to end the battle report at this juncture, and we'll make a second part because it'll be turns 4, 5, and 6. So I guess it's kind of a, what would you do type of thing. I know I would do if I was Brettonian. I would reform the relique to face the black orcs and redirect them off away, and pursue with the knights to get them out of the way of the savage orcs. I believe that. I don't see the yellow one. I don't know how that actually works, since they flee from there. It's center to center, even though they're fleeing away from the Grail Relique. So they'd maybe clip those hoppers. Well, either way, his knights are going to end up probably in front of that lone flag bearer of mine. He does have the 3 skulkers in there, so I still might be able to make my dream come true of the 3 knight the 3 Skulkers with the Savage Beast of Horos. Might charge them in here. So I'm going to end this report here, and I'll make a part 2 here shortly when my opponent can come back and we can finish the game. And hopefully my orcs will. If my Night Goblins would have held here, the game would be over. Obviously, you could see it doing just a crush, but it didn't. They broke, so the fight goes on, and I'll let you know how it goes shortly. Thanks for watching, and appreciate your views. And feel free to comment anything. I'll write back because I got nothing better to do. So, thanks. Hi, baby. Making a battle report.
Asshole.